Carson Beck was regarded as a day 2 prospect, having been considered in the past to be a first round QB, but there's very good reason for why he ultimately was never seen as a high level prospect. And it's why the Cardinals took him in the 3rd round, not the 1st. And that's because his flaws are catastrophic and arguably the worst to have as a QB. So today we're going through these flaws in extensive detail so you guys know what was wrong with Carson Beck as a prospect. The most important part of any quarterback's game is their play while under pressure, and this is something that Carson Beck was really bad at. Look at Carson Beck's performance while under pressure in his final year at Miami. We see that Beck was ranked 22nd out of the 2026 draft class for under pressure performance and 72 out of 169 QBs in all of college football. He had a 48.8 passing grade and 5 big time throws and 6 turnover replays. His big time throw rate was excellent, but his turnover replay rate was not. This looks a lot worse when we find out he was under very little pressure compared to other notable QBs in this draft class. And what makes this even more worse is that Carson Beck, while at Miami, was in a simplified offense of lots of screens and RPOs. Like if you thought Fernando Mendoza threw a lot of RPOs and wasn't in a real NFL offense, Miami's offense was arguably amplified in that manner. This poor under pressure play wasn't only at Miami though. In 2023 at Georgia, Beck was slightly better with a 56.1 passing grade, quite a lower big time throw rate and a lower turnover play rate. And similar to his time at Miami, he was not under a lot of pressure. But in 2024, he was one of the worst QBs while under pressure in college football, having a 30.6 passing grade, 6.3 big time throw rate, and a 9.4 turnover play rate. That's really bad. He was under more pressure than the other 2 years that we looked at, but it still was not a lot of dropbacks while under pressure. Carson Beck was not good while under pressure, and it's enough to make him a high-risk QB prospect. But it's this other thing that makes him a bad QB prospect. That being negative plays. While we talked about poor performance while under pressure, which is a part of negative plays, even when Carson Beck isn't under a lot of pressure, he still makes a lot of negative plays. And the best way to show you guys this is the coach's film. Carson Beck will be up against Louisville, and early on in the game, Beck is being very aggressive throwing the ball, which I really like, but the positive plays turn into a complete disaster. On 1st and 10, Louisville is running cover 2 robber. Pressure comes soon from the right side. Carson Beck smartly steps up in the pocket, good stuff, with eyes on this guy running a deep post. It will be a tight throw, but sure, it's open as long as Beck throws a missile over the top. But he doesn't. Instead, throwing a Ryan Fitzpatrick-like rainbow ball, not only taking a very long time to get there, but it's underthrown too. And the safeties are able to lock onto the ball, intercepting it. Not good. And the bad plays won't end there. Now it's 2nd and 10 with Louisville running cover 3. Beck fakes an out route, I like that, and a smart move to go deep if it's open, but it's not open. Carson does not care though and yeets his ball. I mean, an absolute floater in the air, and the Louisville's corner's dream comes true by finally playing wide receiver and takes it for himself. A memorable interception for him, a terrible decision by Carson Beck. It's cover 3 again, but now it's 3rd down. Nothing is cleanly open, but it's 3rd down, so Beck is going to have to make something happen. However, what he can't do is make a critical error, and that is exactly what happens. Beck looks to the right and back to the middle, where this wide receiver is going to cut inside, and that's exactly where Beck goes after stepping into the pocket to avoid the rush. But Beck pulls down because this is double covered, and he goes to throw again, but now he has a big boy in his lap. So Beck tries to get it to his guy still, and there's actually an opening at this point, but Beck overthrows it, and it's behind the wide receiver, and the ball goes right into the hands of the safety, and it is picked off. A massive error, and now Louisville has great field position. And you think those are bad? Well, watch this. It's cover 3 again, and Miami has a ball back with it being 4th and 4 in the 4th quarter. With 8:23 on the clock, down by 11 points, Carson gets a snap, looks to his first read, and it's well covered. So he looks to his left and technically has 2 guys open. One is in this hole in the zone with the DB playing off coverage, and the best clear option, this man who's wide open, no one covering him, and the 1st down is right there. Now Beck is under pressure with a big boy barreling towards him, and Beck doesn't go for either of those guys, but the big shot downfield, which is risky because it has to come in hot. Otherwise you risk the safety of flying over and intercepting it. But Beck throws a floater while under pressure, and it's picked off. It's an unbelievably bad play by Beck. Throw the check down and keep the drive alive. It's not that hard. Maybe he didn't see this guy, but I have a hard time believing that because he should have seen it with this field of vision. Because of this down and distance, he should have been glancing at least. For pocket passers to survive in the NFL, they have to make good decisions with the ball because most of them are not good at creating plays with their legs, or it isn't enough to offset the negative plays they make. Joe Burrow is a clear pocket passer, but he's the best QB in the NFL at making good decisions and avoiding those negative plays. He, on top of that, makes so many big time throws and recently became elite at maneuvering the pocket. Carson Beck is not good at any of that. All of those things he is bad at. And I think he is capable of that play. Like the neural mind part of him understands how to play the game. Like he knows he needs to make big time throws, but there's just something missing for him to put it all together. And I think that is arm strength. Carson Beck, especially after the UCL tear, just doesn't have enough juice to avoid the mistakes in high leverage situations. You saw for yourself on the film that we looked at, the plays that if he had a better arm, some of those plays are probably not ending in turnover plays. It happens so much that it's safe to say that is a major factor in why he makes so many negative plays. He just doesn't know his limit. On top of all the negative things about Carson Beck, the bad under pressure play, the bad decision making, the poor arm strength, is his inaccuracy with explosive throws. It's bad. It makes everything worse. Here, Notre Dame's running cover 3. Beck looks to the safety and sees an opportunity downfield and launches it deep. He overthrows it, and not just that, but it hangs in the air and the safety is very close to disrupting the play, maybe being picked off. Beck should have thrown this more outside if he's going to throw with touch, or maybe this is him throwing a fastball deep, which isn't a good sign. Let's cover 1 now, and Beck has the opportunity to make a play on the outside, but he has to place this out in front of touch, and he misses it, losing on a big play opportunity. Another cover 1 man. See, this type of coverage is a prime opportunity to throw on the outside as there's only one safety playing deep, and he can only cover one side, obviously. Here, Beck gets a big time throw opportunity and correctly identifies it and moves to throw it swiftly, but he places it too inside and gets deflected by the corner. It's a tough throw, but it needs to be made. At least this is what separates elite QBs from average starters. Now Notre Dame is presenting cover 2, moving to cover 1 post snap. This leads another critical opportunity. As this wide receiver is running a corner route, it's a open, clean, tight window throw, and you have an explosive play. But Beck knows he can't make that throw and improvises, or he just, was so far off and throws us much farther ahead the wide receiver. Shouldn't have done that either way. I thought it was crazy that the Cardinals took Carson Beck even in the 3rd round. The more tape that I watch, or rewatch for that matter, it's more clear to my eyes at least that he is reckless. He doesn't know when to be aggressive and when not to be. He doesn't know his own limits, and if he did, he might be able to work out, but then his bad play under pressure comes into the picture, and I don't know how he's going to get away with that. And finally, you bring in the arm strength issue, and I just don't see it. What I do see in him is Ryan Fitzpatrick on steroids, and for the sake of content, I'm making a video on him being Ryan Fitzpatrick, but on steroids. That'll be the last draft video I will make for the 2026 draft. But for now, what about a late rounder who was picked up late by the Jets? He has a real path to being a franchise QB, and despite being with the Jets of all places, it's a pretty good situation for a rookie QB. Check out that video here or some of these other videos. Boom, we did it.